My name is Greg Blount, and making this video for the targeted individuals out there, in hopes that relating some of the knowledge that I've acquired over the years, being one myself, can possibly, help them out and get through their situation. I have a lot of knowledge about all of it. I don't really know, what I should say in the videos and what I don't. So I think I'm just making different videos, trying to figure out which one to use. I think in this one I'm going to just give us just a total smattering of basically all of the information that I've kind of learned is in a concise video, as well as what I have figured out to, in my opinion, be a solution to the problem. Okay, well, I've been a targeted individual for, I don't even know how long, maybe 30 years or so. I've been the victim of directed energy manipulation and attack for over 25 years. There was a period of intensive, gang stalking and street theater, and we know all about that. That's kind of how I. Actually, the electronics is what I noticed first, and I was wondering, what I didn't really know a lot about it at the time, but it was just minimal. And then after that, a few years went by, and I was just, gang stalked for a long time. All the tactics were used. And along with that was was some more directed energy, but I didn't realize that was really, they were both together. I thought it was basically just the gang stalking and not all of the electronics with it, but it was, it was a full gamut. It was I had a full boat, and I didn't realize about the electronics as much then. But apparently that didn't work, and and then after a while it was heavy duty attack, directed energy. I mean, I've had burns. Just the other night, I had burns on my fingers, for Christ's sake. I have artificial intelligence-based entities in my head 24/7, 365, and I've had them for over 10 years. And it was brutal at first, man. It was just a total attack. But anyway, I don't really need to go into that right now. I want to offer more of the solution in this first video, at least, and kind of relate to what I think maybe it's all about, and just try to help you some, So, in my case, I had a spot right back here in the back of my head that grew a bunch of hair into my body over basically my whole life. I mean, at least since I was a kid. I mean, maybe even when I was maybe it's some kind of birth defect. I don't know. I don't think that's what it is, but it's possible. Or an injury when I was very young. I didn't know about it. I don't really think that's what mostly this is, but it's possible, I guess. On some people, that's probably what it's come from. Other people's maybe it's just transmitted, from somebody else. But anyway, along with being under attack, from external forces, I was attacked from within my own body, and that was just as bad. And eventually, I had to either, figure out what to do or die. Basically, I mean, I'm sure that's what would have happened if I wouldn't have come up with something. And so, after intensive research, I have found what I consider to be a cure, or a good solution to the problem. At least the problem I have. Now, I don't know if all of the targeted individuals have the same thing. Maybe that's what it's all about. I really don't know. You know, the world is so crazy these days that you know, maybe that's what most of it's about. I don't know. Maybe it's what it's all about. You know, I'm not sure. But anyway, the solution I have found is sulfur soap, basically. And what I do with this is 10% sulfur soap, nothing else. I take it and I grind it up into like a fine powder, and I put water in it, and then I kind of make a cream out of it. I put it like in a little pump bottle like this right here, and then I take some of it and I pump it onto the, you know, put a little bit on the soap there, the cream, and then I take it and I rub it into my body. They're not really into me. I don't really want it in me as much. I want it into that problem, and it's pretty much everywhere, you know, in me. And so I rub it down inside of here real good, deep as I can get it, and I rub it on my head, you know, maybe in the front and behind the ears, sometimes in the lower back area. I rubbed it into my feet before and lower legs, and sometimes I've rubbed it, you know, like on my shoulder blades, especially this, you know, mine was on one particular side and it was worse on one side, so I kind of hit that, and like on the top of the arms. And that delivery method is not real precise, so it's not like taking a pill. You know, you have to figure out how much you can handle, and you know, sometimes you get a little bit too much, and it's not easy. You have to drink a lot of water. That's probably the key, you know, just to preserve your internal organs. I've been doing it for over 10 years and I'm still here, so apparently it's not hurting me too much. And what I do, the way I kind of handle it, is I use that sulfur, and then I immediately go out and do hard exercise, you know, a couple hours worth of intense cardio. And that really helps a lot. With that and a lot of water, I bring a lot of water with me while I'm doing my exercise. And you know, I want to sweat as much as I can, basically. And that kind of takes that from inside of your cells and you know, gets it out of there. You want it in the problem. You really don't want it in your cells. So, you know, with drinking a lot of water, you might think, well, heck, you know, it's taking all your vitamins away or whatever. Well, the problem with that is, and it might be, but the problem with that is more desiccant in your body. Taking the you know, vitamins or maybe even antacids, because sometimes it's kind of, you know, you might need that. You know, I took a little bit of that, but all of that stuff that you take, it's more, dries you out even more. So I haven't had a need for a lot of vitamins. Yeah, I just eat a lot of good food and a lot of varied food, and you know, I do it every once in a while, but I don't feel that it has been that necessary for me. I've been able to do it without a lot of vitamins. It's just the water is the, you know, you have to do it, or you're gonna just you're not gonna make it, man. You know. And the exercise, that really helps a lot, you know. I don't do it every single day, you know. I found that for me, for right now, the way I use it and the way I kind of know how much sulfur I can take is, you know, once every other day, maybe sometimes once every 3 days. You have to figure it out, kind of. You have to kind of, you know, you want to use it as often as you can, you know, because that kills that stuff. Anything. It kills everything, basically. But you don't want it to kill you. So you have to figure out your own way. You want to use it as much as you can, but not overdo it, you know. And it takes a long time. You know, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but I didn't know what I was doing at first. I had to kind of figure out how to do everything. And it was difficult, you know, but I think you know, people do this, and you know, maybe a lot of the ills in the world will dissipate with you know, with the use of this and get rid of that problem. Yeah, maybe you can cut it down to 5 years or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if people are going to be as heavy of a cases. I'm sure some of them are, but most will probably be much lighter than me. Maybe 5 years or less in most people. I'm sure the heavier ones are going to have to be upwards of 10 years. But it's better than, it's better than being somewhere else, if you catch my drift. That's really, I said I would kind of give a smattering of other things, and I think I will do that on this video. I have an electronics background, so I kind of have an idea about, what's going on. I know interferometry based electronic systems are employed, and you can look that up on the internet. I don't know if a lot of drugs are, most drugs I would say, are crystal based, and if you have any knowledge of crystal lattice structure in electronics, you can see that there's all kind of things that can happen, and that's including hearing things. I don't know if the crystal is necessary for that. Seeing things, I don't know if the crystals are necessary for that. Could be piezoelectric luminescence. Maybe that explains the Frey effect as well as hearing things. If you have enough crystal-based substances in your body, maybe those makes that stuff. I don't know if they can, I don't know if the things can be done now at this point without that being present or not. I just don't know that part. But with the crystals as well, and this could explain a lot of things, crazy things going on in our world today. You can actually, those crystal-based substances probably is a factor in allowing somebody to remotely read your brain waves, because they can take a carrier wave that you may be being hit with and modulate that carrier wave modulate your brain waves onto that carrier wave, those crystal based substances. And so then your brain waves can go away from your head, who knows how far, but far distances. And that's what's happening to me, man. And sometimes, I don't know if it's all the time, but sometimes I'm sure that, my thoughts are being monitored remotely. So Mr. Ackway is correct in his coining of the term remote neural monitoring. That is a definite a thing. Other things could probably be employed as well. Maybe a microwave spectrometry. That probably gives a lot of clues. With physics, there's all different ways to do all different kind of things, and all different kind of techniques. And more becoming available all the time. And this is like nothing that's ever been before. This is so scary. This technology. And just employ all these different methodologies of, you do all kinds of stuff like this. And people don't even need to know. I mean, my God, they have artificial intelligence entities monitoring this stuff. I've never heard a person. I've been talking to these things for years, and it's not people. It's computers. So who knows? Maybe a few people know, and everybody else is enslaved. That's what we're talking about here. And, I don't know if chemtrails is involved, but man, how scary is that? Reading everybody's mind through spraying of these crystal-based chemicals and modulating your brain waves onto a carrier wave, and 24/7, 365. Man, they'll know you better than you know you. So, the state of our world is right these days is like it blows your mind, and it's true. It's all true. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my mind. I know these things are true. I have the background in these things, and it's no BS. I relate. I only have so much time in this video. And I have so much more knowledge about it than that. But you know, maybe this is alien disclosure and things like that. You know, the modern day witch hunting, um, everything. You know, the state of our world today. And maybe this is the biggest problem the humans have ever faced, and we still don't have a handle on it yet. And that's what's, you know, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we don't want to be human beings, we just want to be humans. But you got to get rid of the being part first, you know. So, I can't think of anything right off the top. I know so many thoughts in my head about all this stuff that I just can't. I really need to write down a list and go through it all. But that should that should make you think. Anyway, this video, and but if I think I have a solution to many types of cancers, which I think this sulfur soap is, you know, rubbing it in there and getting it all throughout that whole system, I'm going to tell you. So, maybe I don't know how many more videos I'm going to need to make. Maybe you just take the ball and run with it from here. But in my opinion, this is the state of the world today, and it needs to have a solution. And maybe that's all that people are trying to do, trying to find a solution to this nemesis that's been with us throughout our entire history. Even this stuff was here before humans were here, you know. So I don't know what else I can say on this first video that I'm going to make, and or how it's going to go over, or whatever, if it's even going to be allowed to, to be shown. But I feel like I need to do something. And since I've had so much success with my treatment that I figured out, I felt like I got to share it with the world. So I'm going to take a chance and do that. And basically all I have to say for now is, good luck with this. It's not easy, but it's doable. So got to figure out how to get all the kids and stuff to do it, when you're young. That's the time to do it. Do it when you have a problem, I would suggest everybody in the world use this stuff all the time. The sulfur soap, man. It's like it's given me a lease on life, and it might save your life too. So it's almost like a fountain of youth, really, and that's my opinion. But anyway, good luck, and maybe I'll see you again.